You know, for those of you who love history, a great way to experience it is go to a wax museum. And I know some of you think, wax museums, that's kind of, I don't know, from another era. Well, I'm here today with Wesley Morgan of Madame Tussauds, and they have really jumped into the new era. How are you, Wesley?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Now, you have been involved with Madame Tussauds and Merlin Entertainment for a long time, correct?
Correct, yeah, nearly 9 years.
Great. And the parent company is from London, correct?
Correct, yeah, we're based over there.
Now, you have now come to San Francisco. Madame Tussauds and the Dungeon are great new attractions on Fisherman's Wharf.
Absolutely.
And people are really flocking to see them because the quality of the wax figures are pretty extraordinary.
They are indeed. They're impeccable. We take over 250 measurements. It takes us anywhere between 3 to 6 months to make any celebrity wax figure. So we do it down to every single T to make it correct.
Now, I know that Madame Tussauds has been very involved in trying to make this museum unique and very San Francisco-centric. What famous San Franciscans or Northern Californians do we have as part of our collection?
Well, we have a Spirit of San Francisco section actually in our Madame Tussauds room, and we've got Coppola, we've got lots of different types of figures in our attraction that range. We've got even Harvey Milk in our attraction, which is a leading LGTB.
You can just say gay on this show, it's all right.
Campaigner, so it's absolutely incredible with the figures that we have.
And I think you have San Francisco Mayor Lee in the collection.
We do, yes. And, he's actually welcoming you as you come into the attraction.
Oh, great. And our neighbor, Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, you got some real Bay Area people there. How expensive, if you can say, is it to make a wax figure? The reason I ask is because I knew someone once who had a previous wax museum, and they joked that it was based on how much flesh you could, expose. So like President Obama cost a certain amount, but then I remember they had Jennifer Lopez, and she was really much more expensive. And I said, why? And they said, well, we're showing a lot of cleavage. I think it was a $10,000 bosom for J-Lo.
Any of our figures can cost anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000. So it really depends, again, what you're saying.
And a lot of beeswax.
It's a mixture of beeswax and Japan wax. So it's a good mix of wax, which makes everything look very, very good. Right.
Now, you mentioned the Harvey Milk figure before. I understand that in the San Francisco Gay Pride Parade in June of this year, just a couple days after the marriage equality judgment from the Supreme Court, you were actually a sponsor of the parade, in the parade, and you had some gay figures on the float with you. Who were they?
We did. We had we did the media press conference in our event space at Madame Tussauds, and then we had the Pride Parade, obviously, that we're a sponsor of, and we had a big float. We had 4 of our figures on there. We had Harvey Milk leading the way on the front. We had Lady Gaga. We had Madonna, Neil Patrick Harris, Beyonce.
So you have Neil Patrick Harris. Do you have his husband, David?
We don't, I'm afraid, no. We only did Neil Patrick Harris, and that was launched in our attraction only a couple of months ago.
Wow, I know they kind of come together as a couple. I mean, they're working on the galas in New York. You may have to up that one.
One to think about.
Now, besides openly gay figures, and you're here with your husband for a while, Madame Tussauds is really reaching out to the LGBT community.
Correct.
But I understand you have a wax figure that has really made history. The first member of the transgender community to be preserved in wax, Laverne Cox.
Absolutely. The one and only.
Yeah, and now what was that like? Was that a hard decision for Madame Tussauds, or just like, no, of course?
No, as you said, of course. We reach out to all of our customers and we ask, what figures would you like in our attraction? Laverne Cox was brought up many, many times in our attraction here. She's one of the leading campaigners for LGBT rights. So of course, it was one of those things. There's no questions asked. Let's absolutely do it. She was well aware of what we wanted to do. She jumped in and helped, and she actually unveiled her figure with us last Friday.
Wow. I kind of joked at the beginning of the interview about some people think, oh, wax museums, that's kind of from another era. How is Madame Tussauds kind of embracing the future? I mean, is it more than just, a static figure standing there looking at you? I mean, what is the interactivity involved in today's wax museum experience?
So you can get up close and personal with our figures. There's no ropes, there's no stanchions. You can literally get up, take a photo with them as if you're standing there with them. You can touch every part of them and get very much interactive. We have lots of props around the attraction, especially with things like Lady Gaga. We've got props that parts of the costumes that you can wear, and you can get really interactive with them.
Right. Is that dangerous in any way? I mean, are you ever scared that someone's going to walk off with, a part of Lady Gaga? I
mean, they're very well put together. They stay together very well. We often lose a prop, but that's it's easily replaceable.
Right. Now, I have traveled widely through Europe and Asia, through the Pacific region, and there seems to be a Madame Tussauds on every continent now except for Antarctica. Is that the case?
Almost, and Africa we haven't got, and South America.
Right. And I mean, is that a market that you're looking to expand into?
Merlin Entertainments is looking to expand wherever they see fit, really. So if they find attractions that they want to build or buy out from, absolutely they'll look anywhere and everywhere. It's a great thing for us. We love expanding. It's what we do best.
Right. Talk to me about the parent company a little bit, Merlin Entertainment. I mean, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, either the largest or the second largest entertainment company in the world, up next to Disney.
That's correct. It's the second largest, up to next to Disney. As I said, we're all over the world, so we're getting there fast, and it's a great thing to see.
Yeah, but talk to me about some of the properties. You've got Madame Tussauds, but there's also...
We have the Dungeon brand, which is also what we have here in San Francisco, so the San Francisco Dungeon, and we have 9 of those across the world. We also have Sea Life centres across the world, Legoland Discovery centres, which is an indoor version of a Legoland theme park, which is also one of ours. And then we have various other resort theme parks across the world, which are, old Tussauds brand items.
And the London Eye is also...
The London Eye also, we have an Eye brand. One of those is just open for us in America, in Orlando as well.
So we have an Orlando Eye now?
We have, as
so
of
I missed this somehow.
of about 4 or 5 weeks ago, where we opened.
Well, and that's really going up to compete with the Mouse. I mean, Orlando and Disney World.
Yeah, we have 3 attractions there. We've made a cluster.
So is Merlin going to go to #1 at some point? I mean,
there's a long way to go, but I think that's anything's possible.
All right. Now you were involved with Madame Tussauds and Merlin in London. Now you're based in New York. You're just here for a little bit. What is your favorite figure? I mean, you must have seen hundreds of them.
I have seen a lot. I would say that one of the best figures that I've seen is Steven Spielberg. Was one of the best figures that we have in our attraction. Very lifelike. One of those that when you walk around the corner in the attraction, it's like, oh, no, it is Steven Spielberg's black figure, not Steven Spielberg.
Right. So. And people have asked me, do you have to have the approval of the figure? I mean, obviously there are people who are deceased, but I mean, did you have to ask the director of E.T. if you could put him in your museum?
We always seek permission if we can, but we don't have to have the permission to do it. It's a great thing that most of the time the celebrity or the company that is involved want to get involved. Everyone says it's an honour to be immortalised in wax, so they always jump on board. But we do seek the approval.
Have you ever had a celebrity who said, no, I really don't want to be preserved in wax, or after they came and saw it, they said, who is that? I mean,
no, we haven't. We've had one say that they, absolutely flattered that you asked, but they didn't want to have their figure. But there was only the one we've ever really done that with.
Now, I want to talk a little bit in our last couple of minutes about the Dungeon attraction, because everyone knows that San Francisco is a worldwide tourist destination, and one of the centers of that tourism experience in San Francisco is Fisherman's Wharf, and it's been a magnet for tourists for a long time. Madame Tussauds and the Dungeon are side by side, but they're very separate experiences, correct?
Very much so, yes.
What is the Dungeon all about? Because in San Francisco, you say you're opening a dungeon, it could mean a lot of things.
You're right. It can mean a lot of things. It's one of our last 500 years worth of history all over the world. So in specific to San Francisco, it's the last 200 years of history in San Francisco, all the dark history that we bring to life through 11 shows and 9 actor-led performances that will literally take you through that past from 1848 to 1907. Through the Gold Rush era, through into our mines, and even a scary boat ride.
A scary boat ride. So I mean, so is the Dungeon experience meant to scare you? Is this the sort of like I'm on a date with my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my husband, and I want them to jump in my lap and squeal, sort of thing?
Almost. We kind of go down scary, funny. So it's got a lot of humour in there, a lot of scare in there as well. But it's kind of 50-50 with how we do that.
Yeah, so you see you go to 1907, so I assume that one of the scary things is the San Francisco earthquake.
We haven't got that in there just yet. That's something that we're taking to research at the moment, so we're not sure. But the 1907 part for us is Alcatraz, one of our scariest shows that has been rated one of our best shows in the attraction as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, The Rock just did, a knockout job with San Andreas. People are kind of, I think, get an earthquake there. Anything in closing of Madame Tussauds you'd like to say, and specifically your support of the LGBT community?
We're doing a lot for the reef community, the organisation as well. I think the website's help is on the way.org. We're doing the gala. We're partnership with that. And obviously you can buy your tickets at MadameTussauds.com.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
We've been speaking with Wesley Morgan about Madame Tussauds, Merlin Entertainment, and the Dungeon. We hope that you'll tune in every week, and who knows, maybe one day I'll be preserved right there as well. Thanks for watching.